Welcome to this online training on how to prepare a budget for a cross-border cooperation project. As we have learned in previous video tutorials, there are a number of steps needed in order to prepare a successful cross-border cooperation project. Starting from finding the right partners and working together on the project idea, defining expected results and activities, as well as assigning the roles and responsibilities of the partners. However, there is something else we have to do. We have to carefully plan our project budget. Budget based on the activities, well-defined, realistic and necessary costs, and a sound financial plan. Let's start with the first step, activity-based budget. Anna, Boris, and Carla, hi, how are you? You've been working really hard together with my colleagues on defining your project idea on reducing the pollution in water bodies. But have you really thought about your project budget?
Well, since we are 3 partners, our idea was to split the project budget in equal parts.
Yes, we think that is fair.
It could be possible. But are you really doing exactly the same activities in your project?
Indeed, our tasks in the project are quite different.
Well, most likely you will have many different activities in your project. Thus, you will have many different costs. For example, you might need to calculate the salaries for people working in your project, thus the staff costs. You might also want to purchase some goods or services, such as equipment for environmental monitoring. In case of meetings or events, you might need a travel and subsistence costs, such as hotel bookings, airplane tickets, per diems, and others. It is important to understand what kind of costs can be covered. In addition, each program has defined rules for the cost to be financed. In a program language, these are called cost eligibility rules. Please remember to check your budget against the cost categories and the eligibility rules.
Boris and Anna, I think we need to have a budget planning meeting.
Project budget is an exercise that goes hand in hand with the development of the project and development of the partnership. Your project budget should take into account the degree of involvement of your project partners and demonstrate that actually it will be possible to achieve expected results with the proposed project budget. Planning of the project budget is one of the main assessment criteria of your proposal. If your project will be approved, you will have to implement it according to the planned budget. Let's go back to our partners. They have developed intervention logic of their project and planned activities. So it is the right point to start planning the project budget.
I am not a financial expert, but since our regional administration will be the lead partner, we should have a bigger budget than your organizations.
I'm not sure that it is so easy. There are so many activities planned. We previously agreed that one of us will have to organize a procurement for the testing equipment. It could be quite time-consuming and costly.
Anna, I agree with you. We also have to think about how much time we will spend on the project activities and how to calculate the cost of the staff involved.
Well, even the meeting costs, dissemination materials, and events have to be estimated, I guess. A lot of work. Maybe my proposal was not the best one. Where should we start? Maybe we should go over the planned activities.
We have to go back to offices and do the budgeting homework.
In the process of budget planning, please do not forget to estimate and justify the costs. Justification of each budget item will help you to demonstrate the feasibility of your project proposal. When estimating the costs, please remember that price and salary level can be quite different in your countries. Therefore, same amount of work in the project might lead to different amount of staff costs depending on the country of the partner. Similarly with other costs.
Please also check early on if your program application form includes flat rates or lump sums for some of the costs, as your estimation needs to be adjusted accordingly. For more information, have a look at our video on integrating simplified cost options in budget planning.
Planning of the project budget is a complex exercise. It is important to have enough time to do it, to include all the necessary costs, and have a realistic cost estimate. In case your budget is overestimated, it will be disadvantaged during the assessment of your proposal. In case the budget is underestimated, it might also be an issue. If your project gets approved, you would have to achieve proposed results with the insufficient funds. Let's see how our partners are doing.
I never thought that there are so many details in budget planning. It's good I decided to talk them over with our financial colleagues. They even advised to do a price research for some of the activities planned. I should tell Carla and Anna about this.
I'm really confused now. There are so many costs to be planned for salaries, meetings, travel. Our NGO has a lot of experience in environmental issues, but in terms of project financial planning, I think I should ask for some help. I cannot let Boris and Carla down.
This went smooth, I guess. It's so good to have an experienced financial manager in our regional administration. Okay, all the details ready, cost estimation done. I think I will propose that our organization as the lead partner will also help in putting the partner budgets into the project budget. I'll give a call to Boris and Anna. Let's see how they are doing.
Hey, just before you go, I want to tell you something. If your project will be approved, as you know, a big part of the funding will be provided to you by the program. However, depending on the rules of each program, most likely you will have to co-finance your project budget as well, usually around 10%. It is important that you talk with your financial planners and decision makers to see whether your organization actually has the means to provide co-financing. And it's important to do it early in the project budget development. Co-financing can come from different sources. Your own budget, or maybe other donors. In any case, please carefully check the co-financing rules of the respective program, just to avoid any misunderstandings.
I am very happy to hear that we have funding for our own contributions to the project. The budget is almost ready. Let's make a list of final tasks.
We have to finish everything before the deadline for project submission. First, we all have to check whether the proposed costs are in line with the eligibility rules of the program. Second, let's review our cost estimation and justification. Third, Anna, I understood that you already have found someone with experience in project budget planning. Would it be possible for you to finalize your partner budget in the upcoming week?
Yes, that's a plan.
It seems that your project budget is well developed and justified. But have you thought about financial plan?
I'm sorry, what do you mean by that? We thought that the budget and financial plan was the same thing.
On one hand, project budget is your estimation of income and expenditure. On the other hand, the financial plan is the cash flow of your project over the course of the implementation. You have to know when the funding is transferred from the program to the project and when your project spending is happening. I guess you would not like to run out of money in the middle of the project, right?
We'd like our project to run smoothly.
In terms of project budget, you will have expenditure for the project activities and you will have sources of funding. Program funding, your own contribution, maybe others. In terms of financial plan, you will have timeline of the payments for the project expenditure and incoming funding from the program. Now, it is very important to check the payment scheme of the respective program to understand at what point in time the funds will be transferred from the program to the project. You will also have to submit the reports to the respective program, and there might be a gap between the submission of the report and the next payment to the project. Another thing to remember, your final project budget will be expressed in euro. However, if you will have project expenditure in other currency, it will be converted to euro according to the method indicated in the program documents.
Dear Anna, dear Boris, it appears that without a financial plan, it will be hard to run the project. Let's work on this carefully. I remember in a previous project, there was a lot of time between advance payments from the program. So we had to plan bigger and more expensive activities carefully. taking into account when the money was transferred.
Indeed, this is something to talk over with our financial people.
Okay, let's work on a financial plan. Later on, my organisation will take care of preparing the overall project budget when your partner budgets will be ready. Please find attached final budget and financial plan for the project. Let's meet next week. Our budgets and financial plans are ready. I hope that we didn't miss anything.
Just before you go, your budget and financial plan seems to be well described, detailed, and ready. But I was wondering, do you really need all this equipment for the water quality analysis?
Of course it is necessary. We are planning to do the research on the water quality as part of the project, and this equipment is essential to carry out the activity. The justification is described.
Just checking. When finalizing your project budget and financial plan, it is good to once again review the link between the proposed activities and the project budget, just to avoid any last-minute surprises. You have successfully planned your project budget based on the activities, carefully estimated realistic and necessary costs, and prepared sound financial plan. It seems that you are ready to submit the application on time before the deadline of call for proposals. For all the steps we have outlined, you will find supporting documents and materials on our platform.
And for more information on flat rates and lump sums, have a look at our next video.
We hope you have enjoyed this cross-border cooperation online training, and we wish you successful project application.